Okay, hello everyone and welcome back to Injustice 2. A few days ago I made an Injustice 2 video talking about what I think are some of the characters that will be needing buffs in the upcoming patch. Hopefully a patch is hitting the game soon, and there are some characters that need buffs, but there are some characters that need nerfs. And today we're gonna be talking about the characters that need nerfs. Now, if you look at both online play and kind of the E-League or competitive Injustice 2, these characters are without a doubt the most used. And they're the most used for good reason. These characters are leagues above the rest. And the reason they need nerfs is not only because they're good. Somebody always has to be a top tier. Somebody always has to be the best character. However, again, these characters are way above the rest of the competition. What is the point of learning like intricate combos with Gorilla Grodd or learning instant air dive cancels with Brainiac and all that, when you can just trade off with Batman or shoot your lasers with Supergirl? These characters make it too easy, and there's a reason they are so often used. Now, I'm not calling for any of these characters to be destroyed. We still want these characters viable, but I think there are some changes that can be made that will balance them out without breaking them. First character we gotta discuss is Supergirl, and I will be going through these changes quickly because honestly I could make a separate video on all of these characters. There are so many things that I think maybe not problematic, but I think will need changes. Supergirl is without a doubt the character that demands the most respect in the game. She controls so much of the screen with lasers, teleport and her strings that fighting against her, no matter who you play, is stressful. She can just float around. She has some of the best jump-ins in the game that lead into full combos. She has pressure. She has one of the best strings in the game. This is one of the best, easily one of the best strings in the game. Her lasers knock down, so you can try advancing, bam, you're back to full screen. Again, you cannot zone her. She is without a doubt the most stressful character to fight against. And this really shows. I think we've gotten to a point where, I don't know if you guys experience this too, but I would say 90% of my opponents online are Supergirls. She is just way too easy. Again, whenever you have trouble with a matchup, a character you don't know, just pick Supergirl because she does well against everyone. I think the thing that broke this character or made her top tier was the damage buff. The buff to her string I could agree with, because before this string was pretty bad. She didn't really have anything good to control the neutral with. However, the idea I think behind Supergirl was always that you have a character that does everything well, as I mentioned, but to counteract that, she does low damage. So naturally, what does NRS do? They buff her damage. They buff her damage to a ridiculous extent. I mean, look at that. That's 307 damage off of something incredibly easy. 321. This is so easy to do. She does way too much damage. One of the things that kind of contributes to this is this. This is without a doubt one of the best moves in the game. It's great for whiff punishing. Does a ton of damage. A ton without spending any meter. And anytime you can just let rip. The upward hitbox on this is ridiculous. You cannot jump in against her when she does this, even if you anticipate it, because you will get hit. I think if not the damage, the hitbox on this move needs to be toned down. The other problem with Supergirl, really the major one, is again her damage. For me, they can easily revert back to pre-patch damage with her and she wouldn't suffer. I think she wouldn't suffer because she's already very good in all other areas. Finally, the last thing I would change about Supergirl is her wake up. This is one of the stupidest wake ups in the game. It is unsafe, of course. However, because it is airborne, it is incredibly difficult to punish. If your character doesn't have like good air pickup combos, this can be so frustrating because she does some dumb shit. You block this or you anticipate it, and you just cannot punish her properly because she's airborne. She's in an airborne state. Not to mention she can cancel this into her stupid float for 1 meter, and you can make it safe. Plus, this wake up is fully invincible. She doesn't need it. Like, have this be a wake up, and she's so good that she can easily fall into the same category as Batman in that, you know, she's very good offensively, but to counteract that, she doesn't have a good wake up. Speaking of Batman, the next character we gotta talk about is naturally Batman. Batman, I think, is on a lot of people's hit list, which is weird because they already nerfed him and he's still one of the best. Why? Well, this is gonna be a theme throughout these characters, that the good offensive characters have good zoning and the good zoners have good offense. Batman does not need this. He is easily one of the strongest 50-50 characters in the game and some of the strongest offensive characters in the game. Why? Why does he have this good zoning? He doesn't need it. This is absolutely ridiculous. He doesn't need it. He can literally zone you out all match. If you look at Forever King play Batman, sometimes he just does this. He gets to the corner, meter burn rolls out, and he's going the other way. First of all, this basically has like a built-in backdash. And Batman already has some of the best dashes in the game. His batarangs do not really need it. Not to mention his trait. His trait comes out way too quickly. You can enforce so many mix-ups using the trait, and there's nothing you can do about this. You pretty much have to just eat this because the bats are not on a cooldown. Even if you block something unsafe, like you block this, bam, he just lets the bats rip and he's safe. If you disrespect it, you get hit by the bats, full combo. Again, these things come out way too quickly. Batman is easily the best counter zoner in this game. He can just chill, pop the bats, and you're screwed. If he lets them rip, whether you get hit by them or you block it, Batman gets 2 free dashes. That's already a huge distance covered in. If you try to do some air shit with like Superman, it's gonna track and it's gonna hit. And coming down, he can do a spear and he goes into his offense. Now, him having counter zoning, I can understand, but the simple fact is the bats come out way too quickly. The startup on them needs to be slowed down. His zoning needs to be slowed down. I think if you look at a character like Red Hood, the shurikens, that's like something along the lines of what Batman should have. Maybe have it come out a little bit slower, like this, so that he can't just like machine gun the batarangs over and over again. Next up, the up batarang. People have discovered that this is a wake up. This is a very good wake up. And the idea behind Batman was always that, sure, he's very good on offense, but he doesn't have the best defensive options. He has to take a risk if he wants to get out of a bad situation. With the discovery of the up batarang, he no longer has that. You can just pop that, meter burn it, bam, full combo. Sorry, I do not play Batman, so sorry about the execution. Yeah, this as a wake up, take that shit away. This is good as an anti-air and that's about it. Or maybe for pressure. Finally, the jump 2. This, I don't know who the hell came up with this. This is without a doubt the most insane jumping attack in the game. It is essentially un-anti-airable unless you anticipate it. Whether it crosses up or not is a complete guess. I'm like 90% sure that half of the time not even Batman players know whether this jumping is going to be crossing up or not. And you have a character that is this strong offensively, and the jump 2 essentially gives him a vortex, because you do some shit like this, do the reset, jump 2, and it is a complete guess as to whether this is going to cross up or not. Batman is without a doubt one of the strongest vortex characters in this game. He does massive damage already, but the fact that he can just loop you into the same situation over and over again is just insane. So aside from taking away a bit of his zoning, taking away the just like the absolute all-around utility for the trait, because this is really one of the best traits in the game, I would for sure reduce the jumping hitbox. I think they really need to take out the backward kind of hitbox, if you know what I mean, because like you see, like, do you see how it hits? I would make the hitbox a lot forward toward Batman's front feet, the one he sticks out, because they really need to find a way to make it so that the jumping attack is not so random, because again, This seems completely random as to what property it's gonna do. Aside from that, I think Batman is mostly fine other than these few tools. He's very strong offensively, which he should be, but some of these, especially the jump to and the vortex, is just way too much.
Superman, Deadshot. Fighters approaching Gorilla City.
Alright, next up on the hit list is Superman. Superman, and it's funny because the Kryptonians have like the best strings in the game. Supergirl has the back 1-2. Superman has the 4-2-3. This string, since day one, has easily been the most ridiculous string in the game. It just does everything. Forward advancing mid that launches into a full combo, safe on block, can be cancelled into the trait, and has incredible priority. The priority on this string is ridiculous. If any of you play Superman or have played against a good Superman, you will know that this string seems to beat out everything. And I don't know if it's because of the startup. Look at the damage. And this is like nerfed damage on Superman. But yeah, the priority on this is just incredible. Overall, I do not think that Superman's zoning is that much of a problem. I will agree that this and this does way too much damage. Like, look at it's 216. That's almost like a full combo with Blue Beetle. I would tone down the damage from his lasers just a little bit. Not by much, just a little bit. Some characters have real trouble dealing with the lasers, other characters not so much. But the problem is, even if you have a character that can deal with the lasers, Superman's offense is so good that it really doesn't matter. He can play a matchup without using the lasers at all because his offense is this good. And his offense really comes from pressure. If Batman is more of a mix-up character, Superman is the pressure character. Like, I've mentioned at the start that all of these characters are strong because they only need to rely on one tool. And that is perhaps more true for Superman than any other character. Just like bear with me and let's explore some of this shit. This by itself is safe. He can cancel into the trait and do a grab. And sure, this is not like a real block string, but he can cancel the trait and do a 4-3. He can cancel the trait and do a meter burn, 4-3 or back 3. He can cancel the trait and go into, the string again. He cannot cancel, go into this. And really, this is what I want to kind of point out. Why is standard Super Breath safe? It is -1 on block. This is absolutely ridiculous. It makes everything that Superman does safe. And basically, you gotta make another guess. Because sure, it's -1, it's not neutral or plus. But realistically, with the amount of priority this string has, your opponent is going to be on the back foot, and it's just a constant guess. Is he going to cancel and do a grab? Is he just going to keep up the pressure? It's like, what do I do? If you're fighting a good Superman, you're constantly wasting your meter on push blocks, whereas he can just do this for free because he doesn't need meter to pressure you. He only needs meter for combos. So what would I change? I would for sure change the breath. This breath needs to be made minus. It can be safe, but just not where it can just continue pressure. I would say if you're a Superman player, which I am by the way, if you want to continue pressure, spend a meter. You can still make this -1, and then it's just gonna be a lot more fair. It's like, sure, you can put your opponent into another guess, but you have to spend meter because it's absolutely ridiculous that this has the same frame advantage as this. Yeah, it's just way too much. I think that's about the only thing I would change with Superman. He has a lot of damage, but that is understandable. It's Superman. But this shit, the amount of pressure he has and the priority, I would also reduce the priority on his 4-2-3. It's just way too much. I think this character really needs to be toned down because without a doubt, he's one of the dumbest characters in the game. All of the characters covered today are incredibly dumb. In that, what I mean by dumb is that they do not require a lot of thought. Really, 90% of the time when I play this character, this is all I'm doing. It's insane. So yeah, he just really needs this string and this changed. And finally, we come to the character that is on everybody's hit list, Deadshot. Whenever I see people call for nerfs or complain about a character, this character is always at the top of the list, for good reason. Now again, I could make a separate 20-minute video just on Deadshot alone and why he's really, really strong. But I'm gonna try to condense my opinions about this character into a few minutes. First of all, he's fun. He's fun to play. He's fun to mine salt with. People just get salty, they rage quit and all that. He's good for jokes, he's good for trolling, but when you look at just like everything he does, you can kind of see what the problem is. The problem is that he's without a doubt the best zoner in the game. He's leagues above any other zoner. Starfire, Dr. Fate. Deadshot beats every one of them. Aside from that, he is a counter pick for about a good 1/3 of the cast, I would say. Deadshot counters way too many characters because this wrist cannon is ridiculous. You can easily quote-unquote machine gun this. I'm gonna try getting this the quickest I can. I mean, look at this. Look at the speed on this. It is insane. His zoning is so fast and it's so incredibly difficult to get in on because you're essentially forced to spend meter from meter burn roll. And if you mistime it, you get hit. If you do not judge the distance correctly, you can get hit by one of these, get knocked full screen. You try and jump in, he does an air shot. I mean, you can instant air these if you're good at it. I'm not, but then it becomes even more powerful because you can just like react to what your opponent is doing. I'm sure his damage mid-screen is not too high, but he knocks you full screen with everything. And I mean, this is ridiculous. The amount of zoning and projectiles this character can fill the screen with is just way too much. Second of all, there's this shit. Now, anyone who says that this and this are reactable is lying. I think unless maybe in training mode you can do it, but again, anyone can react to this is either godlike or just probably lying about it. This is just like straight up MKX style bullshit, unreactable low overhead strings. And the last character that needs that is Deadshot. What I would do, not even take away this. Like this can stay low overhead for all I care. This is just really practice. You can go into practice mode and you can just like learn how to block that. But I would severely slow down this overhead. Make it reactable. Make it reactable. A lot of characters have incredibly slow overheads. Why doesn't Deadshot have one? Second of all, I would for sure tone down his meter build. Let's just explore this. And we have a full bar. Look at that. It's insane. Did that literally take 5 shots? And you have a character that shoots constantly. Basically, you play against a Deadshot, you are... Oh shit, I just switched back. You are never ever at a meter disadvantage. And that is a huge problem. This character out quote-unquote meters any other character. And then you can spend on this. Meter burn rocket, or not rocket, machine gun. He does have rockets, but that's an ability. He also has a really good wake up. So again, tone down his meter build. Tone down the speed of this. I think this is about the speed I think would be acceptable for the wrist shot. It's still fast, but just force him to use his other zoning tools because most of the time like this, sometimes this, not even worth using because this covers all options. So yeah, I think this would be like a fair speed for this projectile. Slow down the overhead, slow down the projectile, tone down the meter build, and this should not be safe. If Deadshot has to wake up, it should be unsafe. Maybe you can have him spend meter because what exactly is the frames on this? It's -5. Like, yeah, you can maybe meter burn for damage, but it shouldn't be safe. The wake up is way too good for the kind of character archetype he is. I think with that, he would still be an incredibly strong zoner, just his really ridiculous tools need to be toned down because, again, he counterpicks way too many characters and he is the biggest pain in the ass to get it on. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little Injustice 2 episode. Again, you don't have to agree with me, but realistically, these characters are gonna get some shit. It's just the way it is. I think hopefully NRS recognizes the problems with these characters and recognizes that character variety is a problem right now. Mainly because of, again, these characters. Don't want to kill any of these characters because I do enjoy some of them. For example, I would love to be able to play Deadshot without people constantly quitting on me and sending me hate mail and all that. I would love to do that, but for that, he needs some changes. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what are some of the other characters that you think would need buffs or nerfs. There are certainly other characters that I think need few changes, like Catwoman and all that, but those are just like one or two minor things, not like big changes that these characters need. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like this video. There's gonna be more Injustice 2 content coming. I want to make another episode of ranked maybe, or online play. For now, thanks for watching and goodbye.